Have you ever wondered how many honest people lose what they've worked for because they trust the wrong person? This is the story of one hard-working farmer, one dishonest buyer, and one old man whose wisdom changed everything. If you enjoy inspiring farm stories about justice, perseverance, and unexpected heroes, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Jacob had spent nearly an entire year raising his cattle. Every sunrise found him feeding them. Every rainy afternoon was spent repairing fences and caring for the herd. His dream was simple: sell his biggest bull at the livestock market and finally earn enough money to replace his old tractor. The massive animal stepped onto the livestock scale. Everyone watched the digital numbers rise. 1,900 pounds, ***. Several farmers nodded with admiration. "That's one impressive bull," someone whispered. The buyer smiled politely while writing on his ticket. Everything seemed normal. Until Jacob looked at the payment receipt. The ticket showed only 1,400 pounds, ***. A difference of 500 pounds. Jacob frowned. "Excuse me," he said politely. The scale showed 1,900. The buyer barely looked up. "You must have read it wrong." But everyone saw it. "This is the official ticket," the buyer replied firmly. "The scale records 1,400 pounds. Several people shrugged. The buyer handled hundreds of animals every week. Who would question him? Jacob felt his stomach sink. 500 missing pounds meant losing hundreds of dollars. Months of hard work seemed to disappear with the stroke of a pen. He looked around helplessly. Then a quiet voice came from behind the crowd. "Young man." Everyone turned. It was Mr. Walter. An 80-year-old farmer who had spent more than 60 years buying and selling livestock. His hands were rough. His back was bent. But his eyes missed nothing. He slowly walked toward the scale. "I've been watching." The buyer forced a smile. "Everything's fine, sir." Mr. Walter didn't answer. Instead, he crouched beside the weighing platform. His fingers brushed underneath the metal frame. Then he paused. There it is. He pulled out a small steel spacer hidden beneath one corner of the scale. The crowd gasped. The buyer's smile disappeared. Mr. Walter held the metal piece high for everyone to see. "This doesn't belong here." People moved closer. "What does it do?" someone asked. Mr. Walter stood up. "When you lift one side of a livestock scale like this, it throws off the calibration. The display can be manipulated to produce false readings during the final recorded weight." Jacob stared in disbelief. "So the scale was tampered with?" Mr. Walter nodded. "I've seen this trick before many years ago." Market officials rushed over. They immediately stopped all sales. A certified technician inspected the scale. Minutes later, the results came back. The old farmer was right. The scale had been deliberately altered. Every animal weighed that morning had been recorded incorrectly. The market manager ordered Jacob's bull to be weighed again. Silence filled the yard. The numbers climbed. 1,500. 1,700. 1,850. Finally. 1,900 pounds, ***. Exactly what everyone had seen the first time. The crowd burst into applause. Jacob couldn't believe it. The market immediately corrected his payment. He received every dollar he had earned. Officials launched an investigation into previous sales, discovering that several farmers had unknowingly lost money over the past few months. Many of them were later compensated. As for the dishonest buyer, he was permanently removed from the livestock market. His reputation disappeared far faster than it had been built. Jacob walked over to Mr. Walter with tears in his eyes. "I don't know how to thank you." The old farmer smiled gently. "You don't owe me anything. He looked across the market before quietly adding, experience isn't valuable because it makes us older. It's valuable because it teaches us to protect those who haven't seen every trick. Jacob never forgot those words. Years later, whenever young farmers came to sell their first animals, he stayed nearby. Not because he expected trouble, but because one honest voice can prevent a lifetime of regret. Sometimes justice doesn't arrive wearing a badge. Sometimes it arrives wearing worn-out boots, carrying decades of wisdom, and refusing to stay silent when something isn't right. If this story inspired you, leave a comment with the word honesty. And remember, a fair day's work deserves a fair day's pay.